Hi everyone and welcome to our live stream. My name is Helena. I am joined today by Thiago Aranha. How are you, Aranha?
I am doing very well on this day, splendid day. It's actually quite good because for once I'm in Brazil, not in Singapore. So this means I get to do a live stream during the afternoon, early afternoon, and not 2 a.m. in the morning. So I'm nice and bright and woke and all that jazz. So
This
very
is a
excited.
first. This is a first for you guys watching. Aranha is actually in the sunlight.
Yeah, that's real sun shining from the window. Yeah, it's good to be in the daytime for a while here, and I know I'm just so excited to present. We have to present today. It's always a thrill to work with the things you love.
Yes, right. And I see we have been dropping hints left and right for the past few days, and I see these are being picked on by the crowd watching us.
Yeah, we insinuated some things, and some people get it, some people don't. Say no more.
Yeah. Well, I think things will become clear enough very, very, very soon. Is everyone? Do you guys think we can start? It's been, I think, 4 minutes. Maybe it's time for a big announcement for the day.
Yeah, I think it's been 5 minutes. I think 5 is enough. 4 not enough. 6 is too much. Yeah, we shouldn't get to 7. No way. So I'd say roll tape.
Okay. So are you guys excited? We are very proud. On a personal level, I think we are all very proud to present to you today.
Say no more, now what I mean, nudge, nudge. Oh, I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. I sleep all night and I work all day.
Now that's what I call a dead parrot.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Oh no! My brain hurts!
Yes, it's Monty Python Flying Circus.
Monty Python's Flying Circus. Zombicide Second Edition. Character pack expansion thingy.
I bet you guys didn't expect that.
Nobody expects that. Like this is really something completely different for us, the Zombicide and everything. It's such a thrill to do this. Like it's a fan favorite. It's a personal favorite. I know it's for you too, Helena.
Yeah.
And it's so great to be bringing this, working with Monty Python, like with that property, with those jokes, with those actors, with those characters, and bringing all this wonderful silliness to Zombicide Second Edition.
Yes, and it's just a lot. I mean, when I said nobody expect that, I mean not even me. Like before I was involved in this project, like how do you even get these characters in the game? They are so much larger than life, and they are so weird and different, and not what you'd expect in a Zombicide game.
Yeah. It's like this whole idea of bringing Monty Python into Zombicide again. Those crazy schemes from David Preddy, one of our directors, has always bringing these crazy IPs and proposals to us. And of course, when the idea, the possibility of bringing Monty Python into Zombicide, we jumped at it. I've been a fan since I was a kid. Of course, stumbling into Holy Grail on TV and Life of Brian. Interesting because, to be clear, this is Monty Python's Flying Circus, the long-running TV series, which actually in Brazil, I don't think it even ever aired in Brazil, the Flying Circus series, right? So I only found it like a bit later in life when you kind of were able to get access to some of these things, but it was all in English, and I wanted to share with my friends, and many people didn't understand English, and so there was no subtitles or anything. So actually, I think it was like 16 or something, and I went through and I created subtitles for I think almost the whole first season, like watching it, translating it, creating the file for the subtitles, like with the time codes in and out, trying to understand what those jokes meant, what those words meant. Like I even learned a lot of English, and very British English, like twit and struth and stuff like that. Like I learned all that from Monty Python Flying Circus, and yeah, it's a huge foundation for my humor and everything I find funny. So it was delightful to be able to bring this into Zombicide.
Yeah, but how does this play? Like mechanically, how do you bring these characters in a Zombicide game? Like what are the abominations? What are the skills? What are we looking at here?
Well, I didn't expect the sort of Spanish Inquisition, but we can.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Yeah, or the lead designer for this expansion, Fel Barros. Welcome.
Hello, everyone.
Why is this happening to you, Aranha? Let's not.
I can dodge it. It's fine. I can be like this.
Fine. This is fine. It's just a scratch.
This is very kind of fourth wall breaking, typical Monty Python stuff.
So hello, Fel Barros. Fel Barros led the design of this box, and welcome. How are you?
Hello. Very excited to be here. Monty Python is another one of our endeavors through the Zombicide franchise, and it was a very challenging one to put it politely. But as usual, we had a great team here, the Z team, the same that worked on many boxes before, like The Boys and Iron Maiden, stuff like that, and many more to come. And Monty Python definitely was a very unique expansion for sure.
Yeah, it was interesting on the inception. Like, okay, so let's do Flying Circus. Okay, it's a long-running TV series, lots of episodes, lots of characters. I can go back to the center. Good.
Yes.
So yeah, I always felt like the initial thing is, okay, so what do we do with this? What do we tackle? What can we include? What characters? What mechanics? How do we even approach this? Because it's so nonsensical and tongue-in-cheek. Luckily, like Zombicide has always been tongue-in-cheek. Like it never took itself too seriously, so it wasn't too much of a stretch to bring Monty Python fully into Zombicide. Although, yeah, for sure, this is the silliest thing we've ever done, as it should be. Just the minis alone, and then the mechanics and everything.
Yeah,
true. I'm here for an argument. No, we won't be doing that today. You'll have to go somewhere else for that. Can we see it? Okay, so we want to dive in, right? There's plenty in this box. Are you all ready to?
Yeah, actually, probably because there is plenty in this box. Because one of the interesting thing in the process, because initially the idea is let's do like a character pack, like a little box with like 6 characters. How we usually tend to do these things, but we had a real hard time just cutting stuff out in terms of, this could be a survivor, this could be an abomination, this could be like a little zombie horde and stuff like that, that this kind of demanded to be more than just a character pack, which is why we kind of call it's a character pack expansion, because it has lots of stuff, lots of mechanics, lots of enemies and survivors. It has the whole thing. Like the only thing it doesn't have is tiles, because that wasn't really needed to bring the setting in. But it's really more than just a character pack. It's a full-fledged thing.
Yeah, true. Okay. Before we start, Fel, people noticed on the back that you have the boys. So before we dive in, and we will, don't leave. What the other character packs? How are those? I think that's more a question for Aranha, right?
Yeah. Fel's part has been done for quite a while now. I'd like to apologize for the slight delay or long delay on some of these packs, like Supernatural, The Boys, and Iron Maiden. Everything is produced. Many people have already received them around the world, but we are delivering them very soon. I think we've posted this on the pre-order page somewhere, but the communication with the pre-order page is we're still kind of sorting out. We're still trying to find ways to improve that communication so you guys are kept more easily in the loop of how things are going. But the gist is basically these packs are arriving in the hubs around most of the world at the end of this month, like next week or something. They should be arriving at the hubs for distribution. So in Europe, in the US, Canada, I think most places. So you should have your packs very soon, and I'm sure you're gonna love it. Really excited about all those things, but now it's Monty Python time.
Yep. Speaking of which, I just received confirmation that the pre-orders are already live. We will be posting the link to them in the comments right now. So you are free to go there as we speak and ask us your questions about it live. We're here for it. Let's dive in. So we will start, of course, with the Silly Walkers. Or where is it? Oh, hello, there you are.
Yeah, and this is kind of, I think this is the first thing that the idea of a Monty Python Flying Circus box came in, like the first light bulb moment, like, oh, silly walkers. Like we have walkers, and now we're gonna have silly walkers. We have to do it. Several different poses, like doing the whole silly walk. Fel, you figured out what you do with this, but this has to exist in the game somehow.
Yes, it has to be quite silly indeed, or it will not receive government funding. So how silly is it, Fel?
Yeah, it basically there was a lot of back and forth on them because we have the different scopes. Initially, we thought about maybe they being unique. They can be like do different things, but in the end, as we do with all things on side, we try to keep it clean and keep it in a way accessible, regardless of what you know about it. And one direction that we always have in those character packs is that they are slightly more challenging. Yeah, and even Monty Python, we wanted them to be challenging. So basically, how they move during their turn is random, as it should be from the Silly Walk department. So you don't know how much they will move on their turn and what direction. So basically, the gist of it is how you can't be prepared for the Silly Walkers. That's the gist of it for sure.
Yeah, it was fun selecting, like, because there are so many amazing poses from the Silly Walks. It was hard choosing like just a few to bring to life. But yes, when you have this little horde moving along with those poses, it's just very, very silly. And actually, one thing we discussed early on is, but should they be like zombies? Should they be undead, decaying, and all that? We just have like, no, like it doesn't. We want to bring those characters as they are, because that's the real fun thing, and it doesn't need to make sense. It's Monty Python. It's Silly Walkers. That's it. They're gonna kill you somehow if you don't take care, but they are Silly Walkers, and that's all they need to be.
Do they come with spawn cards?
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
They do. Because the mechanic has to be, it's not very intuitive. It has to be written down for you to it's quite silly indeed.
That's for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So ready to move on? Any questions about the silly walkers before we move on? I don't think so. Okay, so next up, the nude organist and the fish slapping dancer. Quite distracting, that
Yeah,
nude
the new Organist was one we discussed back and forth. They're like, can we do this? Can we just make a naked guy sitting on an organ? So, yeah, it is very silly and very out there. We kind of have to do it.
Yeah, basically that one thing during the creative process, because Aranha is like the highest authority Monty Python in Brazil. So we came back to him many times with so how we should approach this. And one thing that, well, yeah, the sculpt is amazing. And one thing that we were very keen on was like, how do we strike the balance between actual gameplay and silliness? Because it's Monty Python after all. And I think at the beginning we went too far on the silly part, and then sometimes after some Aranha coming back to us, no, too much. You went too far. You flew too close to the sun. We need to come back a little bit. We found a way to, some of those more unique. They are challenging in their own way. And the nude organist, if you are in line of sight of him, you have to perform your turn with your eyes closed. That's basically it. And that means you need cooperation and like to see how much you rolled, if you actually killed anyone, how far you are from the target, stuff like this. And that's one thing that, as Elena, as one of the playtesters for the box's witness,
yes.
This box comes with very unique moments during the game, and that's what we were striving for, and we are very happy with how the products turn out to be.
Yeah, it's quite fun. Like these I guess fourth wall breaking moments where the mechanic applies to you, the player, and not the character you're playing. They are great. They are so cool.
And as Fel was saying about how far to push the silliness and the gameplay, because we wanted to have a healthy mix of like fourth wall breaking stuff and stuff that is like more focused on the gameplay itself. Because different people like different things. Some people really like to go out there. Some people like to keep it focused on the mechanics and the challenge and all that. So we try to have a nice balance of both things, infusing the characters from this pack.
Yeah. I see a funny question. I'm sorry. How detailed is the naked one?
So this was an interesting challenge because so we had to kind of fudge things a little. Like we don't want to go like with a full Monty, but it's interesting. It was an interesting challenge. Let's see how it turns out in plastic. If there's some flesh out there, I don't know.
Oh God. Okay, what about the fish slapping dancer? I think the nude organist, as usual, drew in all the attention, and we just ignored the fish slapping dancer.
Yeah, of course. The fish slapping dancer, he doesn't come. He's an enemy, but he exists as a pair with our. We want you to be able to perform the traditional fish slapping dance. Oh. So we have both like the little abomination fish slapper, and we'll look at the survivor fish slapper as well. Of course, they both bring different things to him, but I just love this little guy so joyfully slapping away with his pilchards.
And very annoying too.
Yeah. The whole point of him is he's an annoying character. He's not lethal, but he's very annoying. He gets in the way, and I think you kind of have to shove him around and shove the problem to another player, so he has to deal with them.
Yeah, it in the end is like we watch the sketch, every sketch many times, and we were like, so what traits of the sketch we can absorb for the gameplay? And for this was like, man, this is annoying, like, and we wanted you to when you played, you're like, oh man, there is the fish slapper, you know. And I think that's the emotion we try to convey with the fish slapper. And I think the final product went very well. And just to take a brief moment here to congratulate the Z team, Rodrigo Sonesso and Fabio Curi, Henrique, Antonio the Toy Von Glenn, and Fabio Tola, who was working on this expansion as well, because it takes a big team to. It's not like YOI was the lead designer for this. It takes a lot of people, and of course Aranha that was meddling with us, and it takes a big team to come up with this. And for sure, I need to give a shout out to the whole team.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next.
Next up. Here they are at last.
The most unexpected thing in this expansion, the Spanish Inquisition. We knew we had to have them there. And of course, the whole thing with them is they are unexpected. You never expect them. So they can spawn out of any deck, right? Want to expand on that, Phil?
Yeah, that's basically the gist of it, because we had already done in Rio de Janeiro, we did a surprise spawn that was very well received by the community. And one thing that I personally keep, my ears on the ground and always looking for feedback. We have an amazing community. Shout out to the Discord and Facebook and everyone there. And we always keep like what you guys are enjoying, what did work for you, and this whole, like the way that you have to play when you have the Spanish Inquisition, it's very different, because while nobody expects, here you as a player you have to expect them anywhere, and this changes like how you perform your search actions, or maybe I should not open a door, I should not do a search. If I do a search, what might happen, So it was a very unique aspect of the game added with this. And of course, with all these smaller expansions, we try to make them as impactful as possible.
Yeah.
And at this point, shout out to the sculpting team at Big Child, because bringing these characters, the likeness, all very dynamic and faithful to their screen presence, but to look good as a miniature, it's not an easy thing. And these guys turn out very well with their comfy pillows.
Indeed.
Terry Jones, and I really love Terry Gilliam here reading from the pamphlet.
Yeah, that one looks great as well. I think these, as unexpected as they are, I think these were perhaps the most expected one. Like when we started posting the first few hints of this box coming up, this was the comment that kept showing up. Like, will we get the Spanish Inquisition? So cool.
Next.
But of course, up next, I think this is the last one for enemies. So let's,
So those are two classics. I think it doesn't get any more classic as a comedy sketch than the Dead Parrot. So we knew we had to have an undead parrot, and we discussed a lot like how to deal with it, because it's a dead parrot, or maybe he's just resting or pining. There's some debate there.
Pining for the fjords.
He's pining for the fjords. He's just resting. He's shagged out from a long squawk. That sketch is something that I've watched 1,000 times in my life, so it's just pitch perfect. And it was just funny, the idea of having the parrot there just lying on his back, and you never know when it might go boom and eat your face off.
It was like we from the get-go, one thing that didn't change through the design was that he can't be killed. That was the baseline. And then we had this whole how we do the unexpected, of maybe he will wake, and then in the end it's like one of those 3 actions, abominations that might go after you. You never know. So it gives a good amount of tension.
He's a ticking time bomb of an abomination, basically.
Exactly. So you never know. Like, well, you better stay away. I think that would be my advice if you're playing with it.
Yeah, and then the other iconic thing that we had to bring was the iconic foot from the opening credits, which is just, I think it's one of my favorite miniatures we've ever done, because when you arrived at the office and people would look and they would see like all these characters, people there on the shelf, and then in the middle of it was just this big ass foot there, and it's so amusing. I don't know, it's silly as hell. And I just love it, and it's a big foot. Like if you compare it to like the other miniatures, like it's ready to squash everything in its wake. And actually, like sculpting it, like I was very, very anal about it. Like in terms of the pinky fingers, they actually go kind of inside and under the other ones. Like it's a very specific foot. It's not just any foot. Because initially the sculptor he did a nice foot, but I said, no, this is the foot. This is the one foot. So like we really made sure that it looks amazing as it should be. It's the most iconic foot in the world. Come on. And what does it do, Fel?
Yeah, basically, this one took a while for us to hit the final wording, because it's always appears like at some unusual moments during the sketch, and it's always the stomping, and we wanted to make like omnipresent in the sense that you might get stomped randomly by it. And that's one of the fourth wall kind of things that we added in the game, because if you roll badly, it will try to stomp on your zone and take damage everyone. But if you have a pointy equipment, you might get away with it, and pointy as you imagine. So it was one of the things that we are very adamant, like we need a counterplay for it, because not to be a frustrating thing. And then we're like, so how would you counter a foot?
A giant foot falling from the sky.
Yeah, exactly. So we came with this pointy, and of course, because I do always look at the wording and everything to make sure it's working well, like, what the hell you guys are doing? Well, but in the end, we came up with a good way of showing around, and I think players will enjoy the foot in their game.
Yeah, true. I saw a question here, which I thought was funny. I lost it. Oh no. Yeah, will the foot look zombified? So I have to address the elephant in the room. None of these look like zombies.
Well, to be fair, the dead parrot looks very dead and dead, kind of zombified. But there's one aspect to the foot because we couldn't, like, we never in the show you never see what's above the foot. So our take on it, like, it is kind of a severed foot, like you see the bone in the middle there. So I guess it is technically a zombified foot because it's not attached to anybody. So
true.
There's that.
There's that. Well, I think that wraps up the enemies in the box, right?
I don't think so. I think there might be one more.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, the Hell's Grannies.
Yeah.
We have to have a roaming gang of evildoer grandmas looking for tea, just causing havoc around the board and kidnapping young strapping lads.
Yeah, they do look oddly scary.
It was funny. I was talking to the artist and the sculptors, like, they need to be intimidating. Like, they're not your everyday grandmas. They're out to do no good and all that. So.
And how do they work mechanically? What are they up to?
They when if you watch the sketch, they are like these bullies that they're storming through the streets and bumping into everyone, and in the end they just want to have some tea, and they like, oh, okay. So what we did was like we added a tea table to this box. So
a token,
yeah, we have a not it's not a plastic big tea table, okay? It's just a token. But so basically, they want to reach the tea table, and they will storm everyone in their way to reach their tea, and because they have to be there for sipping a good a good glass of tea. So that it's basically they work is more like a neutral enemy in the sense that they don't make a difference between survivors and zombies. They will attack everyone in their way to make their way to their table and have their good cup of tea. So it's a good compromise, and I think it's one of my favorite sketches, and I wanted to highlight them in a good way. And the sculptures were amazing, so we are very happy with how they turned out.
Yes. Yeah. Just to clarify, tea is not included in the expansion. You guys will have to provide your own tea while you play.
And you should brew a nice cuppa when you're doing it, because come on, that's proper. One thing about the sculpts was interesting, especially working with the licensor. They always wanted to make sure that John Cleese looked as impressive as he does in real life. Like he's a giant of a man, so his miniature stands head and shoulder above all the other ones, as is befitting to him.
True. Do you have the other two there?
Yes. Which ones did I show? I don't even know. And they have on the back the Hell's Angels embroidered in crocheted on the little vests.
I love them so much.
Sorry. Yeah. Now let's move on to some survivors. Or do you have any questions? It's only a model. Good one, battle cry.
Oh yeah, before we move on, I just need to check on your ability to identify trees from a moderately long distance. This is very crucial for this expansion.
Let me see. Does the comment section can identify what tree that is? It's a Scots pine, I believe, or no.
No one. Oh damn, guys! I thought you all were better than this. Yep. We have a winner. Yeah, missing the large. Correct, Battle Cry. You take this one.
And by the way, the large is not included in the set.
Yeah.
Very important.
The large is much too big to be included in this set. You will need to provide your own large along with the tea. So moving on to survivors, we have two of, I don't know, I keep saying that, but perhaps the most iconic here, like the lumberjack, is one of those sketches that is so well known that it broke the Monty Python barrier. Like people who never watched Monty Python know this guy.
And one thing, when we wanted to have survivors in the game, early on, I knew I wanted to have 6 survivors, one played by each of the Monty Python troupe. We didn't want repeats in the survivor. We didn't want to leave anybody out. So we're just picking which are the nice iconic survivor-like characters that each of the actors played. So yeah, here we have Michael Palin's iconic lumberjack and Graham Chapman Colonel.
Yeah, and how do they? I see that their ID cards are very unique. So how do this work?
Yeah. So basically, Aranha got us in a pickle a while back because he wanted. I think it was Iron Maiden the first time we did a unique blue skills, or maybe The Boys. I don't remember which one came first, but it was okay, we need them to be unique enough that we need those because of how Monty Python works and how very different we want this box to be and break the fourth wall and everything. We needed those unique blue skills for the survivors, and for sure the Lumberjack song was the one that took the most back and forth among them, because the only thing that I was sure is that we wanted players to sing. They need to, because, well, of course, right?
Yeah, you have to sing the Lumberjack song. That's a given.
That's a given. And now, what happens when they sing the Lumberjack song? And in the end, we because how it plays out in the sketch, if someone sings along with you and repeats the verse, one of the verses, then you get to do an action as well. And I think that played really well with, like, as we said in the beginning, like, I want this to be powerful enough that players will actually care. You know, like, oh, I'm not much of a singer, I'm a shy person or something, but, well, it's an action, right? So I might as well sing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we have the Colonel there, who his thing is, he, whenever things get too silly, he just goes and stop, that's silly, cut that out, move along, and basically he does that to the zombies, right? When zombies are moving, they're doing their thing, he can just wave his baton and go, stop it there, enough.
Yeah, and it came out to be like a very strategic, like, it can be very powerful if you use it well. And of course, you have to say, stop, this is silly. So to actually use the skill, and that was also something that we wanted to make sure, like, when they play with this Monty Python pack, the gameplay will feel very unique to them. I think that was our main goal, and I think the team accomplished that very well.
And what kind of silliness does he stop?
Oh, that whole shambling of undead towards you, eating of brains, none of that.
None of that. Okay. That sounds oddly powerful. But then again, he was oddly powerful in the series. Like, he would stop everyone.
Yeah, he can direct the cameraman. He can end a sketch earlier, move on to the next one. Yeah, he's God here.
Yeah.
Okay, so up next, the night with a raw chicken and our beloved Arthur Nudge.
Yeah, we knew we had to have Arthur Nudge there. Eric Idle's iconic wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more, say no more. And
know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. And I really love the design team had a lot of fun trying to narrow down what you do with the nudging of your companions.
Yeah, it basically, because like, how do we nudge? Like, that's the kind of question we ask it. So we're gonna do like pointing. We're gonna do like the sketch with the elbow. How close you need to be to other players physically, but you have to nudge the other players. And because he's a very, persistent character, he chooses what you do. And that's one thing that we wanted to make sure. And no alpha player. That was important for us as well. And we were very happy with, I think, I'm not supposed to pick favorites, but I think Arthur Nudge might be my favorite survivor.
Yeah, he just nudges you in the right direction if you get what he means. And then we're looking for like what Terry Gilliam character we could showcase there, because usually he plays like very smaller background characters. He doesn't have like very upfront and outspoken characters. But yeah, the most recurring and fun and visually interesting and mechanically enticing thing was the Night with the Raw Chicken, where he just, like, whenever someone does a terrible joke and just fail completely in the show, he'll just show up and nonchalantly smack them with a raw chicken over the head. And then, yeah, it was interesting to see the designers try to make that into a game mechanic, which I think turned out very well. It's a very kind of Schadenfreude kind of gameplay.
Yeah, basically, one thing that I need to get out of the way, I could not get a rubber chicken in the box. I tried, guys. I tried really hard. At the very end, I was like, are we sure we cannot have a rubber chicken on the box? Nah, unfortunately not. So I want to come here in the public with our audience and say that you should probably get a rubber chicken on your favorite store or wherever you get a rubber chicken. And because this will be very important for gameplay. It's not essential, but I think it will give another aspect to the game. But basically, he will judge you. So if you miss if you do an attack and you miss all the hits, in the night, when Parrot chicken is in your line of sight, he will attack you, and he will wound you. So it will be. He'll go after you, and that's why we made him a strong character. The raw chicken is very powerful to balance out the whole. And of course, if you do it properly, you can even you see 4 die for +2 damage for starting weapons, very powerful. But in the end, and we also have some ways to exploit this ability in a way. So we were very happy with the judging thing, and what appears to be a drawback, because of the whole judging and attacking you, but it was a fine balance that we had to go for, and I think the team nailed it.
What I think is nice is because what the knight does is something that players naturally do. Like when you're in a group and you're all together cooperating, but when someone really completely fudges a roll, everybody goes, oh my god, you want to smack them on the head with a piece of raw chicken. So we encourage that through gameplay and mechanics and miniatures, and do get your own raw chicken and smack them on the head for their favors.
That's very important, very advisable.
Yeah. When I played this, and I only played it one time, I have to say this was very funny, a lot more fun than I initially expected it to be. We just kept getting judged by the raw chicken. It was great.
Yeah.
Okay. And you can see the raw chicken there, the card there. He already starts with it, and it is indeed quite powerful. You don't want to be judged by the raw chicken.
Okay. The last couple, we have the fish slapper that we already alluded to, wielding his halibut. And we have Arthur Ewing and his amazing musical mice.
Yeah, so those two were the fish slapper was one that we also had a lot of back and forth. And Arthur Ewing, it was one of the skills that we went with, making it simpler. But in the end, they are both powerful characters on their own. And one thing that we wanted to strive on these boxes is how the characters need to work together, and Fish Slapper, he gets annoyed with friendly fire. That's something that we wanted to explore. And one annoying guy there, and then if he gets annoyed, he'll wreak havoc on his own with the halibut. And that's something that we were, and of course he has shows. I think that's very appropriate for the character. And as for Arthur Ewing, we were so how we can implement the whole orchestra and the interaction with
smacking down mice and squashing mice to make sweet music as you attack zombies.
Yeah, exactly. So you have the rat tokens can be your ally on your quest, and the mallets also play a role in that. And we right now it's 2 powerful characters, and of course because we also make the abominations were powerful, the characters are powerful, and so I think we encourage the silliness in a way that you feel powerful while doing so. I think that was a good goal for us.
So to the Arthur Ewing stuff, so he basically releases his mice around and just curving around the board, and he's trying to play his song, and everybody is joining in. attacking mice and zombies and trying to hit the right notes, getting bonuses with that. Yeah, it's all the mayhem. And one little touch, that he has a little surviving mice on his pocket there, which is just a sweet little thing.
Oh, I'm glad he got away.
Yeah, and Joe S, I do see the typo on halibut in the ID card. I'll get that fixed.
Yeah.
I blame that on Phil.
Sorry.
Fair enough. Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very good.
Nice epic stance with his dual wielding mallets. And so these are the contents of this expansion, which it will eventually hit retail as well, but it is on the pre-order. But of course, we wanted to, for the people who joined the pre-order, we have to give them a special deal and a special thanks for joining in this early. So we do have like a very special gang that if you saw the trailer a long time ago, you saw them, which is another fan favorite we had to include.
Yeah.
And so released the Gumby pack.
Here they are.
Yeah, the Gumbies are very interesting characters. So this, because it was an extra set, so we have all 6 actors, because they all at different times play different Gumbies, and so we have all 6 of them on this pack. And Fel really pushed, or the whole design team really pushed to make this as versatile as possible, like take the most out of these characters. So they have multiple uses and multiple things that they bring to the game in their very simple-minded way.
Yeah, basically, when we knew we are doing a pack only exclusively for the Gumbies, and we always have we don't have enough enemies, we don't have enough survivors, we don't have enough whatever. So we had it all, and the Gumbies were the main gist of the Gumbies were like how clumsy they are, or like they are not very aware of their whereabouts. So with the main mechanic centered around like they can hit each other, they might stumble on you when you're not looking. We did a survivor, we did an abomination, and we even did him as a sort of companion, like the zombie dogs or something that you can add to your game and give a depth of the gameplay. And I think the community will be very pleased with how much content we squeezed on these 6 little guys.
Yeah, and they always work as a collective. Like one Gumby is nothing. You need to get 6 together to get half a decent thing. These guys are pretty useless. So they are armed with their bricks that they like to bang together on their heads, or sometimes they might chuck a brick at you. They seem to be always very angry and shouting. They are very loud. I think the John Cleese one is very menacing.
Yeah. And I'm not sure if you guys can see, let me just, but he is indeed a towering guy. Like he's very tall.
Yeah.
Oh, look at him.
Yeah. And this was one where the licensor really pushed us, like, you need to like sculpt. We need the sweaters to look like they do with all the different patterns, and the glasses and the clenched little fists. And so it really worked, and it was very. I must say, I was very pleased working with the Monty Python licensors. They were very helpful and easygoing, and really helped us push this to be as faithful as possible, and but understanding the needs of the game and everything. Kudos to them.
Yeah. So this is our pre-order exclusive. It will only be available if you get the pack during the pre-order, but we did skip a little bit of content.
Oh yes, we did. Of course we did.
Yeah, we did not talk about, for example, the mission that comes in the box, right?
Yeah, that was a first for us, because also listening to the community and how they were excited with the possibility of some of the box. I wanted to play a mission on this specific setting, and this time we tried to find a way to. Can you kill the undead parrot? That's the question that the mission poses for you. And of course, the hell Grannies will be there trying to drink their tea. And if you allow them to reach the tea table, it's not good. So we added some of the silly walkers start on the board close to the ministry. So we wanted to, do we have the team. Our team is very keen on doing on the online missions. We've been doing for a long time, and some that they are very proficient on it. And we're like, so how can we encapsulate everything Monty Python in a single mission? So there will be one mission for the Monty Python fans, and of course we have some other some equipment, some other stuff.
Yeah, there are some key equipments we didn't mention that we kind of just for fun we had to include, including like the deadliest thing of all, and in my opinion the funniest sketch ever made, which is the funniest joke in the world.
Very good.
So yeah, you do get access to the joke, and it's as lethal as it's supposed to be. When you kind of all read together from it, and your enemies just drop like flies.
Yeah.
Yep.
But not just your enemies, right?
Yeah, you need to close your eyes. Like while you're reading, while you're reading the joke, people need to close their eyes. And of course, and for this was very important for us, and that's to give a hint of the missions. The joke will be very important to complete the mission that comes in the box. And the one that was the hardest equipment for us to play test was the 60-ton weight, because this box is over a year in the making. One thing that we want to get right was like, how can you stretch your arm and throw dice on the table to kill miniatures, and the 6-ton weight was how the best approach for it was the dice, and it was we didn't. I'll confess that we had way more dexterity at the beginning, and Aranha was like, oh, that's too much. Let's dial down back. So the 6-ton weight was our survivor on the dexterity part.
Yeah, on the nonsense side of things.
Exactly.
Yeah, just fun to drop a weight on things, and whatever falls over, and then they're out.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. We did use that when I played it, and it is a lot of fun. Well, I think that covers it. Did we cover the whole box?
I think so.
We have, I think, only the spam.
Oh yeah, we do spam all the decks with spam cards. There's a lot of spam in this game.
Yeah,
but I don't like spam.
Oh, it's all we have.
No.
Yeah, and it was basically you force people to say the word spam way more than they should, and if they don't say the word spam, bad things happen. So you need to be aware of it. It's one of the silly. It's one of the silly things that this one got away with more silly than gameplay, but in the end we balance it out, and we are very happy with the spam as well.
As it should, right? There is a sweet spot there.
Yeah.
Because it is Monty Python. So if these were your regular survivors wielding guns and killing zombies, that would be very strange as well.
Exactly. Yeah, we had to embrace the silliness and combine it with the gameplay. So yeah, this is our offering for the day. I hope. Well, if you're a Monty Python fan, like you what's not to like? Like this is how we bring it to life. But we hope that even if like you're not too familiar with Monty Python, it still brings like interesting dynamics and interesting gameplay to a game people enjoy. And yeah, it's flying straight because I see one recurring question I see in the chat is like, oh, you've opened up the Monty Python box. Like, what else can you do with this? What about Holy Grail? What about creosote from Meaning of Life and all that? I don't know. Let's see. Depending on how well this does, we might be able to do more. I would love to explore some more Monty Python.
Yeah.
We have our list and ideas, but yeah, let's take it one at a time.
Yeah. Well, I see the $1 million question here. How long will the pre-order be available?
It will be available for a while. We don't usually set strict end dates for our pre-orders, so it will be at least a month, no more than 6 months. It might be 3, it might be 2, 7 out of the question. Tomorrow, no way. So you have a while. Like, just don't take too long. This is it, but you don't have to rush. But if that FOMO bites you, go right now and pledge for it. And by the way, we have a lot of fun just writing the product page, the pre-order page. There was a lot of trying to be as silly as possible while conveying what the product is. And and kudos to Julie, who did the page, and Louise, who did the graphics on the cards and everything. Everybody had fun working on this in their own aspects. So I hope you have fun playing it.
Yeah, and see if you guys can find all the Easter eggs that got hidden in the page.
Mm-hmm.
Another question, sorry. So when will it be delivered?
I think we have an estimate of, April next year. Let's hope we'll make it. Things are very advanced. Obviously, everything is sculpted. We're molding the plastic. All the design is done. So we are confident we'll be able to hit that mark. But, life always gets in the way. We'll do our best. People were still asking about the recent character packs. Those are reaching the hubs at the end of this month, end of June. So that is coming soon. Sorry for the delay. And yeah. Working to bring you silly stuff.
Well, I think that's the time we had for today. I already kept you for an hour. Just to remind everyone, the pre-orders are open right now. You can go and pre-order all of this we just discussed in this very moment. So I guess I'll see you all there. And I think that's it. Any final words from you guys? Let's start with Phil.
Yeah, I want to thank again the team. Rodrigo, Antonio, Gary, and Kuri. We have a very amazing team that works very hard to bring everything to you guys. And I'm the one that is here, but I'm representing a bigger squad that tries to make always keep Zombicide fresh for you after 10 years, and it's always challenging but always rewarding when you see what you guys have for us. And of course, that's something that's a tradition by now. I always give a shout out to someone in the community, and these times I'll send to John Linkster. He's one of our very adored fans, and he makes his own big missions and everything. So Linkster, you are the kind of person that makes us very happy to do our work. And I hope you keep your love for Zombicide alive for many years to come.
Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of that, sorry, I saw someone earlier on asking, "Oh, I'd like to play the night with the raw chicken on my fantasy games." So I'm sure someone in the community will do that for you.
It's called Kurt.
The Zombicide community is amazing. Yeah. We highly encourage you guys to join in because they do all sorts of stuff, and it's great to see.
The Facebook group, and for sure there will be a lot of mod for everything.
Yeah. I'm sure the Spanish Inquisition will show up in all the unexpected places.
Yes, that is true. Any final words from you, Aranha?
Yeah, I just wanted to also give a shout out to Daniel Rizio, who did all the art for this expansion. Amazing work. Everybody who worked on it. And as a final word, I'll just say...
Well, I guess there's nothing more to say. That ends our segment. See See you all soon. Thank you very much for joining me.